Hey everyone. Um, so it's been a minute. Um, Sorry for the hairdo here. If I don't put gel in it, it kind of sticks up everywhere. But I'm I wanted to come on here and talk about my health today. My health has been really, really good over the last probably 2 months. Um, I've started to take notes down when I get something in my head that I want to talk about, and I put it on my phone in my notes. And this is the one thing that just keeps coming back and back and back that I want to talk about that I've written down recently. And I can't tell you how better I've felt. And one second. Anyway, I have felt so good. And I'll tell you two reasons. One reason is this. This is a 40-ounce water bottle. And I drink 3 of these a day. So there are times I drink 2 of these a day, but most of the time I'm drinking 3 of these a day. That's 120 ounces. Now, most people, depending on your body weight, need about that much water each day for regulating your body. And what it does is it helps you lose weight. When you drink enough water, the water turns that fat into energy. And that has helped me tremendously, along with eating less. Back when we moved back to Minnesota, I weighed about 185. That was back in November. We got here November 20, gosh, what was it? November 20th, November 24th. I don't remember. It was around Thanksgiving. And, from being on the road, eating 3, 4 days in a row to, just eating like crap all the way through Thanksgiving or Christmas as well, it was just, it was just getting to be a lot. And I ballooned up all the one to 185, up from like one, probably 170, maybe just a tad below that. And I felt like crap. And I I was just so sick of feeling lethargic, feeling like I had no energy. And I was doing some research because I'm one of those people that I self motivate myself a lot. And I hate to be one of those people that, and again, I'm not calling anyone out when I say this, but I don't like to be a person that just sits around and does nothing. I'm constantly active, I'm constantly doing something with my life, trying to better myself, whether that's mentally, physically, through my health or exercise or whatever it is. I'm always constantly doing something. Um, so I was doing research on I was already drinking water to begin with, but I wasn't drinking quite enough. I was probably drinking maybe a bottle a day, and that was a 24 ounce, 25-ounce bottle. And maybe I was drinking 2 of them a day. I don't remember, but it just wasn't quite enough. 50 ounces a day of water just isn't cutting it. And I cut out all sodas, pop for some of you here in the Midwest that call it pop still. I mean, I don't, but um, anything that's sugar related, energy drinks. I never drank energy drinks to begin with, but I usually stick to water. Uh, occasionally a juice, a lemonade, milk, things like that. I drink a lot of almond milk with my oatmeal. Um, have had my oatmeal. I just everything else is occasionally. Water has been my main source of fluids, and it's been really nothing else. I don't get tempted by soda. I don't get tempted by juices. Um, I just don't get tempted by a lot of sugary substances, whether that's a food or other than cookies. I'll give cookies. Cookies are my bane for sure. I don't know if that's the right word, but it's definitely my weakness. I love cookies. However, we never have them in the house. We don't have ice cream in the house very much. Freezies are definitely a weakness of mine as well, along with bread. Bread is something we always have in the house, but I try to curve that to the best of my ability. And it's been great. I haven't had any issues with overeating, especially since I've drinking 120 ounces of water a day. I don't think about food like I used to. Um, the other main thing I changed, which I never thought about this before, and I didn't think it was going to play a big role in my energy level and in my, especially my mental. But I also started taking one a days for men, and that has changed my my mental health tremendously. Uh, Here in the Midwest, particularly in Minnesota, and the dog days of winter. I don't know why I say dog days in winter, but just go with it. In those long, cold days of winter, when there's 10 feet of snow and whatever it is outside, 4 below zero, we don't go outside a lot. We don't get a lot of sunshine. Um, it's it stinks, and so we don't get a lot of vitamin D because the sun just isn't out. I try to go outside as much as I can in the winter, uh, and we just don't get it. And so, about a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, I started taking one a day for men, and it has changed my mental health completely. I have energy more. I am less forgetful. Now, that's important to tell you because I do have epilepsy. Now, I haven't had a seizure forever, um, to be honest with you. And it's mainly because I take my meds every day. And my epilepsy is, I think it's a low grade. I don't get them very often. The only time I've ever gotten them is if I forgot my medication for many days at a time. Like if I go like 3 or 4 days without taking it, I will relapse and have one. Last time I had one was like 2 years ago, maybe a year and a half ago. I can't remember, but I don't get them otherwise. I just don't, and I'm always aware of it and things like that. But the side effect from having a seizure for me is forgetting the little things. Um, when I open a can and I use the electric can opener, I was leaving the lids on the top of the can opener. I have an electric can opener because when my wife isn't around, I can't use a regular can opener, so I use that. But what I'll do is I'll leave the lid on top of that electric can opener, and I won't throw it away. Um, I'll forget to maybe, I don't know, just think of the small things in life. Like I used to forget sometimes to turn the oven off. There was nothing in the oven, but I forgot to turn the oven off. Um, just small things like that. And it wasn't like it would be for long periods of time. It'd just be like a half an hour or an hour. And I'm like, oh, wait, I forgot to do that. I'll forget to maybe, I don't know, Just little things like that. My long-term memory has always been fine, and it still is. But when you have a seizure, you have a very clouded, like you're just foggy all the time. You're just in the fog so much. And it's been a long time since I've had a seizure, which the longer I go away from that seizure, the better. I don't have, like, I get better. But since I've taken the one a days, it's accelerated that. And I've just had a better memory. I've had better, just, I've just been better in a lot of ways in my life. I've been more focused. I've been more, hmm, hard to explain, but they have helped. And at first, I never thought about why these things were getting better. And then I started thinking about it. I'm like, okay, okay. So since I've been taking these, I'm sure it takes a while for it to get into your system. And, you have to build a therapeutic levels of those vitamins, and then they will start working, just like any other medication or supplement. Um, so I've just felt great, and I know my wife has noticed, especially with being less forgetful about things. Here's another thing I'd forget. I would be making a sandwich, and I'd forget to put the mayo back in the fridge, or the bread I'd forget to wrap up. Things like that. I don't do those things anymore, or I haven't done those things in a very, very long time. um, so things have been really good for me personally. Um, I can't tell you how good it feels for it to not be winter anymore. The sun is shining outside, as you can see. Can't have the windows open, otherwise you won't see me. But it's been great for it to be like, it's like 50 degrees today. It's supposed to be 70 by the end of the week. Sun is shining. We get a lot more sun here in the springtime, and summer, and the fall time. But it's been definitely a challenge. I don't know if a challenge is the right word, but I can't think of the word right now. Can't even think of the word. Um, hmm. It's just been a. It's just I'll just use challenge for now, but that's not the right word. It's just been taking some time to get used to being back in Minnesota. We've been here now since November. It's May. Today's May 1st. Um, so it's been good though. I've been thinking more positively. I've been going out on walks now outside, getting my exercise. I do not have a gym. I have not really done anything. When I've lost all this weight, I weigh 168 now, down from 185 back in November. I have not exercised during the winter time. I wanted to, but we don't have a gym membership. You can't walk outside because there's like 5 feet on the ground of snow, or it's like icy. So you can't go outside during that time. But since it's gotten nice out, I've been taking the dog on a mile and a half walks. I walk to work when I can, which is a mile and a half to work. Um, it's really nice. It's really nice. So I've been able to kind of keep up with that. I also forgot to mention that when I'm at work, I'm constantly on my feet. I'm actually walking anywhere between 25 and 50 miles. I'd say, yeah, 25 and 50 miles a day at work because I'm on my feet doing uh, order pickups and taking them outside, or going to get the items and prepping them first before I go outside. And you're walking back and forth, and you work 8 hour shift, anywhere between 6 and 8 hour shifts, you're going to be walking that much. So that's also helped my health in that regard. Um, it doesn't um, it helps me continue to be fit and keeping off the weight um, while doing everything else I have just mentioned. So there's that. I watch what I eat. I drink the water I need to drink. Um, I'm still working on getting enough sleep. Right now, I'm getting around 6.5 to 7 hours of sleep, which is probably um, acceptable, but not great for me, um, which is sort of affecting my energy level a little bit. But um, I'm working hard. I'm working hard on changing some things about myself which I do not like, which has been going fantastic. I am I have stopped being so analytical with people, correcting people, which is annoying. Um, you know, I'll give you an example, and maybe I've talked about this a little bit. When someone is talking about, let's just say, a movie, and they're talking about a character, but they didn't pronounce the character right, I would correct it, even though it doesn't matter. But I would correct people all the time. And the wife would obviously know more than other people because I live with my wife. So it's more prevalent in the house than it is to other people. But I'm sure I've come across as annoying and just like uppity, you know? And now I've, when I come around people like that, whether it's family or other people, I can understand why that's annoying now. Like I get it. I see myself in that, and that's not always a good thing. There's a way of correcting people in a healthy way, and there's a way of correcting people in a I'm better than you are, and that was kind of me. And I don't want to be that way. I didn't want to be that way, and I've corrected that. I don't do that anymore. Um, in other ways, I've done better with other things. I'm very conscious of my health, so I try to help others in their journeys, you know, and I also come across as like trying to help so much. You can only do so much for others, and you just have to let them do their thing and just be supportive in whatever they decide to do, and be a good influence on them by just focusing on yourself, because they'll see what you're doing and they're going to want to do the same things. Lead by example. And I was not doing that. I was just being kind of like you should do this, you should do that. And that's not the way of doing things. Those are flawed personality traits that I have been working on and changing for the better. And I've been working on these things for the last year, and I've been so much better at them. Listening is a big one. Not always having to comment on something just because. If you disagree on something, that doesn't mean you have to react. That doesn't mean you have to be that way every time. You know, I'm a very I love to talk about sports and I love to talk about movies. So that's different. But when it comes to everyday life, that debating side of me, whether it's movies and sports, bleeds over into life situations. And that's not necessarily a good thing. like I said, you need to do that in a healthy way, not a debateful way, if that makes sense. Um, I have just been working so hard on myself, making sure that I'm okay up here and you know, just physically okay. So with that said, that's just been my journey over these last few months since November. I know I've made videos since then, but I just really haven't got a chance to just update everyone on my health and my just what I have been going through. Um, I just have really my attitude has been just a lot more positive about being in Minnesota. I've been looking for the positive things here opposed to the negative things that I don't like. And there's plenty of positive things here. And it's a place, and I've said this probably before in another video, but we're going to be here for probably the rest of our lives, or at least until retirement. And that's okay, you know? And I've enjoyed being outside, like I said. I've enjoyed hanging around friends again and family. I've made a conscience. I can't say that word because I just can't. I've made an effort. I'll say that. A really big effort at seeing friends and family. I'm getting the voices out of my head that people don't want to hang out with me and they're not calling me and things like that. And just going and communicating from my side. And you know what? If they didn't want to hang out with me, if they didn't want to get together with me or whatever, they wouldn't. Those are thoughts everyone deal with, I understand, but they're negative thoughts. They're not thoughts that are necessarily true. Now, not you're not going to get along with everyone. Not everyone is going to want to hang out with you. And I've accepted that now. But now it's time to be proactive and just realize that the people that you hang out with aren't they're not going to hang out with you if they didn't want to hang out with you. They'd be vague. They wouldn't make an effort to say, "Oh yeah, come on over," or "Yeah, I'll meet you here," whatever it is. I met with my best friend was in town about a week and a half ago. I haven't seen him in 5 years because I was in Arizona, and he lives here in Minnesota up north in St. Cloud, and I it was so good to see him, really good to see him, and I thought for the longest time that maybe he just wasn't feeling our friendship anymore. I know that may be unfair to say. I don't know, but I don't talk to him as much as I'd like to. But he came down to do something else. But he went out of his way to take time to hang out for an hour. And that meant a lot because I didn't know if we still had that. I guess I didn't know if we still had that friendship anymore. I knew we were friends still, and that was never going to change. But we just picked up right where we left off 5 years ago or 6 years ago, whatever it was, and it was really. It felt great to hang out with him and know that he's he's still my best friend, at least from my point of view, and it sure seems that way to me. And we talked about getting together again here soon. Me going up and visit him and the kids, and you know it was just great. That really meant a lot to me, and I told him that it meant a lot that he went out of his way because he was here for business. He was here for his work, and Yeah, it really felt good. It really felt good. So anyway, I forgot what I was even talking about. I guess I was just talking about being proactive around the people that are around me, and there's still people that I want to get together with, and I'm working on those things. Um, Now, don't get me wrong here. I still battle with the whole social anxiety, but I work on it every day, and I'm getting better at it. And having a positive attitude helps beyond words. And I've also been kind of switching subjects here, but not really. Anyway, I've been helping a friend out with a lot of things lately, and one of the other things that I'm trying to get better at too is being there for people when when they have been there for me in the past. I have not always done that. I have not always been proactive in that, but that's also a thing that I want to get better at. Is being there for people even if they have not been there for me or even if they have. It doesn't matter. I'm not talking about anyone in particular at all. I'm just talking about being there for people in general. And that's something that I've wanted to do for a long time. And it started with donating blood. And that seems really small to people to say that, but it's a big thing. And now I've started doing that with interacting with people in general, whether that's family, whether that's friends, or whether that's a coworker. Just helping out in small areas or big areas. So that's just a little bit what's been going on with me. I know I've kind of rambled on here for about half an hour, but I really wanted to just come on here and talk about my health and just what's been going on in my life. And it's been a few months since I've been on here. I know that, um, and I know that I don't have a lot of people that watch this, but for the people that do, thank you for watching and thank you for listening as always. I very much appreciate it. And at the end of the day, this is just therapeutic for me. And it helps getting out a lot of anxiety, uh, even probably a little bit of depression that I've had in the past. Um, you know, just this has helped so much. I cannot reiterate that to you enough. So, anyways, talk to everyone later, and we will see you in the next video.